All right. Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to say call halayim Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai Bahashim Rakah Quitash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who have taught me this truth and who rule well in this truth. Shalom to the 144,000 and the hopeful elect of the nation of Israel that is scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. Peace and mercy unto you. You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, you are the true Hebrew Israelites that the Bible speaks of. You are the true chosen people of the book. All right? So I got this article here, all right, and the title reads, Troops to be deployed across U.S. as Pentagon prepares for civil war. And that is exactly what is coming to America, all right? Very great civil war on a very high, great, and grand scale is coming to America. And we're going to grab the scriptures in a second. We're going to, go into the scriptures in a second, all right? Because this is prophecy, man. We know that this is coming, man. And we've been warning you and telling y'all that this is coming, man. See, the type of hell, the type of destruction, the type of death, pain, misery, and mourning, all right, that's getting ready to come upon America is something that your mind can't even fathom, man. The time of Jacob's trouble is upon us. Who is Jacob? Jacob is you Israelites, you Negroes, you Latinos, and you Native Americans here in America, man. All right, and you also got the other Israelites scattered throughout the four corners of the earth, under the other nations, looking like the other nations. All right, you're also going to have Israelites here in America as well, looking like the other nations too, man. All right, very great hell and trouble is coming to you Israelites, man. All right, known as the time of Jacob's trouble. All right, written in Jeremiah 30 and 7, Daniel the 12th chapter. All right, Daniel 12 and 1. All right, very great civil war and unrest is coming to America, man. Right, because the elites, they have an agenda to bring forth the new world order, and part of that new world order is to create chaos. All right, there's something that's known as order ab chaos, all right, which is Latin for order ad chaos. All right, that's how these elites, that's what they go by. All right, which is witchcraft basically. All right, order ab chaos. All right, which they create chaos. All right, so they could come behind it with the solution and create order. All right, that's what they did with this pandemic, this scamdemic. They had the entire earth in an uproar and very great fear. So they could get people lined up for the juicy juice, the jabby jab, the yo jabba jabba, to kill the people off, man. All right, and that's what the elites are waiting for. They're waiting for the right type of chaos, the right type of event to usher in martial law, to usher in the mark of the beast, which is the RFID microchip. So they create all this type of chaos, man, so they could come behind it with the solution to put the people in order, man, in check, to have them in complete control, man. Matter of fact, I got this picture here, all right. This screenshot here, all right. This is from a book called Codex Magica, written by Tex Mars, and I've gone into that book many times and done lessons on it, man. All right. So this is a screenshot right here, all right, of one of the pages from that book. It says Rosicrucian, all right, which is one of the secret societies of the elite bankers, all right, the Illuminati, all right. So it says Rosicrucian and other mystical orders, other secret societies, all right. It says Rosicrucian and other mystical orders emphasize the process of alchemy, which is witchcraft, all right. Mystical union that brings about cleansing and renewal. The goal of Illuminati alchemy is to realize a new world order through destruction. Thus, order ad chaos. Yeah. So that's how they're gonna go about to bring this new world order. All right, by bringing upon order out of chaos to get the people in an uproar, in fear, in chaos, to come behind it with order, to put the people in order, to control them, man. All right, so that's why this civil war, all right, is going to take place because they're creating this civil war. All right, they're creating this civil war systematically, man, so they could come behind it with order. All these protests, all these those people that be in these giant protests, bro, they're all bought and paid for. They're paid to be out there to protest and all that, man, by the bankers, man. All right, these protests be funded, man. All right, it says troops to be deployed across U.S. as Pentagon prepares for civil war. All right, and we know this is biblical prophecy. Matter of fact, let's grab it now. All right, let's grab it now. There's a great civil war coming, man. A very great civil war on a high, great, and grand scale, man. All right, so let's get it. Let's get Isaiah 19. All right, let's get Isaiah 19, and I'll start at verse 1. All right, as you see the subheading right here. All right, as you see the subheading right here on Isaiah the 19th chapter, says message to Egypt. All right, this Egypt is not talking about actual Egypt. All right, this is a dark saying, man. All right, this Egypt represents America, because in the Bible, America is known as Egypt, man. When you go to Revelation, the 11th chapter, America is known as spiritual Sodom and spiritual Egypt, man. All right, matter of fact, let's prove that. Let's get Revelation 11. All right, Revelation 11 and 8. It says, and their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city. All right, that great city is talking about America. All right, which is spiritually called Sodom and Egypt. All right, where also our Lord was crucified, meaning he was X'd out here. His true essence is not accepted here. His name, the way he looks, it's not literally talking about being literally crucified here. Right, but this great city is talking about America, all right, which is spiritually called Sodom and Egypt, all right, because America in the Bible is known as Sodom, America is known as Egypt, it's known as Babylon, it's known as Assyria in the scriptures, all right. America is known as many things in the Bible, man, all right. So here in the 19th verse, all right, in the 19th chapter of Isaiah, all right, this Egypt is not talking about actual Egypt, it's talking about America. All right, so it says the burden of Egypt. Yeah, there's a great burden that's getting ready to come upon Egypt, which is America, man. All right, when you look at the back of the dollar bill, all right, what do you see? You see the Egyptian pyramid. All right, in Washington D.C., you got the Egyptian obelisk. All right, you got a town called Phoenix, Arizona, in Arizona. All right, which Phoenix was a ancient city in ancient Egypt, man. We were held captives here like we were in ancient Egypt. All right, the Israelites, man. All right, so this place is spiritual Egypt, man. All right, it says the burden of Egypt. And what's that burden that's getting ready to come upon Egypt? Very great hell, very great death and destruction and famine and mourning and civil war and hell. Sorrow and anguish is coming upon this place. And then the nuclear missiles. That's that burden that's getting ready to come upon Egypt, aka America. All right, the burden of Egypt. Behold, the Lord Yahweh rideth upon a swift cloud, and shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. That's right, man. Because what the Lord is getting ready to do is something that your mind can't even fathom. The Lord is getting ready to destroy all the idols of this place. All right, the very great essence, the heart of America is going to melt. Literally, this place is going to melt by nuclear fire, man. All right. Verse 2, it says, and I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians. Ooh, that's civil war right there. When one people, all right, fights against their own people, that's known as a civil war. So the Lord is going to set the Americans against the Americans, man. All right, I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight every one against his brother. All right, so great civil war is coming to America, man. On a very high, we know that was getting ready to pop off, man. This is because it's prophecy. We're reading it right now. All right, Isaiah 19 and 2. It says, and I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, And they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. All right. And that's one of the signs of an empire falling. All right. Civil war. All right. Did not the Lord say if Satan is against Satan, how can his kingdom stand? Let's grab that real quick. All right. Let's grab that real quick. Give me a second. All right. Yeah, this is the book of Matthew. All right. Let's get it in the blue letter. Let's get it in the blue letter. Let's get Matthew 12 and 26. All right. All right, Matthew 12 and I'll start at verse 22 actually. All right. As you see the subheading right here, the Pharisees rebuke. Yeah, Yahweh Shai rebuked the Pharisees, man. All right, the scoffers, and basically they were scoffing, man. All right, Matthew 12 and 22, it says, then was brought unto him one possessed with a devil, blind and dumb, and he healed him, insomuch that the blind and dumb both spake and saw. And all the people were amazed and said, is not this the son of David? Yeah. Why was Yahweh Shai known as the son of David? This is a question to all you Christians and all you people that swear, all right, you have wisdom and knowledge and understanding of the Bible, man. Why was Yahweh Shai known as the son of David? All right, but that's that's a quick question for y'all, man. All right, let's get straight back to the point. All right, and all the people were amazed and said, is not this the son of David? But when the Pharisees heard it, they said, this fellow does not cast out devils, but by Beelzebub, all right, the prince of devils. All right, and Yahweh Shai knew their thoughts and said unto him, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation. Yeah, and that is America. All right, America is more divided than it has ever been. All right, a very great civil war. I'm telling you, man, a very great civil war on a very high, great, and grand scale is coming to America. Something that your mind can't even fathom, bro. All right. So Yahweh Shai said, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation. That's where you get the word desert from. That's what's getting ready to happen to America. It's going to become a desolation, a desert. All right. By the way of thermonuclear fire, thermonuclear destruction. All right. And Yahweh Shai knew their thoughts and said unto them, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. All right. So that's one of the signs of an empire coming to naught. Of an empire failing. That's one of the signs of a failing empire, man. Civil war. Okay. All right. So it says, and if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself. How shall then his kingdom stand? All right. And if by Beelzebub cast out devils, by whom do your children cast them out? Therefore they shall be your judges. All right. Come on, man. All right. Yeah. So he said, if every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. That's right, man. And if Satan cast out Satan, he is divided against himself. How shall then his kingdom stand? All right. So we know America is being destroyed, man, because of this civil war that's popping off. It's getting ready to come to naught. It's getting ready to fall, man. All right. The Lord said, I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his brother, and everyone against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom. And this prophecy is also written in let's grab it real quick. This prophecy is also written in 2nd Ezra, all right, the 15th chapter. So let's grab it. All right, 2nd Ezra, all right, this civil war prophecy. All right. Let's grab it. All right. Let's grab it. Yep. Right here. All right. So it says I'll start at verse 14. So this is 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter. verse 14. It says, "Woe to the world and them that dwell therein." Yeah, the word woe means destruction. So destruction to the world and them that dwell therein. Yeah, because that's what's coming. Destruction. A very great time of hell and mourning and suffering and sorrow and pain and anguish is coming to America on a very high and great scale, man. Famine, okay? Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. Hoo. And one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands. That's going into the Civil War. All right, Civil War, going into the race wars and race riots. This talking about. All right, race wars and race riots, Civil War. All right, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up and fight against another, and swords in their hands, meaning all types of weapons and anything that could kill and cause slaughter and chaos, and for there shall be sedition among men. All right, sedition meaning uproars and violent uproars and chaos, and for there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. Yeah, all right, because they're gonna overthrow the kings and the princes and prime ministers, and all right. All right, and it's verse 17. A man shall desire to go into the city and shall not be able to, going into martial law, because the roads are going to be blocked off. All right, roadblocks. You're not going to be able to leave the city. All right, because they're going to block the the borders of the cities off, man. So you can't flee into another city, man. All right, martial law. So they could put you in these concentration camps, these chicken coops, man. These FEMA camps, that's what that's going into. All right, but the main point was this right here. All right, verse 15, for the sword and their destruction draweth nigh. Yeah, because that's what's coming, man. Destruction, hell, and death and misery and pain, and bro, just the people just don't understand, bro. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. Yeah, anything that causes destruction and death. All right, not literally just a sword. You are gonna have people with little machetes and all that shit, man. But you're gonna have people with guns and all that, bro. That's what swords represents, man. All right, weapons. All right. So let's go back into this article, man. All right, let's read this first. Isaiah 19:2. Let's read this again. It says, "And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight every one against his brother, and every one against his neighbor, city against city, and kingdom against kingdom." All right, and the spirit of Egypt shall fail. Yeah, all right. The spirit of this place is already failing, bro. The mirth of this place is gone, man. Nobody here has fun in America no more. The happiness of this place is gone already, bro. This place, the spirit of this place is been failing, man. This place is done. America is done. The spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall seek to the idols, and to the charmers, and to them that have familiar spirits, and to the wizards. Yeah, because people are going to be looking for answers. So they're going to be preying upon their false gods. They're gonna run to the people that do witchcraft and sorcery, tarot cards and reading, looking for answers, spirit mediums. That's who they're gonna run to, looking for answers. What's going on? All right. It says, "And the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof, and I will destroy their counsel thereof, and they shall seek to their idols." Yeah, their false gods. And to their charmers, yeah, the people that do, spirit mediums, and, and to them that have familiar spirits, yeah, like, again, spirit mediums, people that want to mess with tarot cards, people who are into witchcraft, all right, and the wizards, yeah, all right, a wizard is a male witch, all right, so they're gonna be looking for answers, trying to, go to the people who do witchcraft and tarot cards and palm readings, and and they gonna find no answers, bro. All right, it says they shall seek to their idols and to their charmers and to them that have familiar spirits and to them and to the wizards. All right, instead of going to Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai, and this is talking about the 2/3. the 2/3 of you Negroes, you Latin, because we got Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Ratazah, I am of the elect, man. Because we know who the Most High is. We know who to call upon. We know who to go to for answers. All right, the scriptures say, wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times. When hell is breaking loose and everybody's in the uproar and everybody's in great confusion, we going to be all right. Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai Ratazah, I am of the elect. We going to be all right, man. All right, everyone's in complete chaos and misery. We going to be laughing. We going to be eating. We going to be in a safe place. You know, like it tells you in Isaiah 65. All right, for my servants shall eat, but ye shall hunger. My servants shall drink, but ye shall thirst. All right, my servants shall rejoice, but ye shall howl for vexation of spirit. All right, you know? But let's get back into this article. Let's see what's going on. Troops to be deployed across U.S. as Pentagon prepares for civil war. And as I just brought out, as I've been bringing out and breaking down, man, civil war is coming. This is prophecy all throughout the scriptures. The Egyptians against the Egyptians, man. All right? So it says, a bombshell report reveals that U.S. troops are set to be deployed across the nation as the Pentagon braces for an impending civil war. And this civil war is being systematically created by the elites. All right? They're purposely creating this civil war. All right? To bring order ab chaos, man. All right? It says, with hundreds of National Guard forces positioned to quick reaction units to quash riots and civil unrest in American cities, you see? All right, alarming escalation detailed in the Washington Post on Tuesday signals a dystopian shift. And that's what's coming to America. America is going to become a very great dystopian society, man. All right, signals a dystopian shift where military turns inward, all right, preparing to enforce order, you see, order ab chaos, amid fears of widespread chaos. Yeah, you see? All right? Tuesday signals, all right? On Tuesday signals a dystopian shift where the military turns inward, preparing to enforce order amid fears of widespread chaos. So you people are done. You people have no idea what is happening, what's going on, man. You people of this earth, see, the only people that know what's going on, for real, the only people that know what's going on to a T are the true prophets and the true servants of the Lord. And we've been warning y'all, man. They've been telling y'all, man. We've been telling you that great hell and anguish and sorrow and misery and martial law, civil unrest, war, race wars and race riots are coming, bro. Famine is coming. The time of Jacob's trouble is coming. We've been telling y'all this, man. All right? It says Pentagon officials have drafted preliminary plans to station 300 National Guard troops at a base in Arizona and another 300 at a base in Alabama, creating rapid response teams capable of intervening in urban. Who else is in urban hotspots? Come on, man. Jake. The time of Jacob's trouble, man. In urban hotspots at a moment's notice. As tensions simmer over political divisions, all right, economic instability and social unrest, critics warn this move could erode civil liberties, turning the homeland into a militarized zone, all right, under the guise of security. Yeah, all right, martial law, all right, a great dystopian, man. A great dystopian society, man. You know? Edom's getting ready to come down upon y'all with great wrath, man. All right? With no clear timeline or oversight details released, the deployment raised urgent questions about the true intent behind fortifying domestic forces, potentially overshadowing a crackdown on dissent in a deeply divided America. And what did we just read? All right? What did Yahweh Shai say? All right, every kingdom divided against itself is brought to desolation, and every city or house divided against itself shall not stand. These are the words of Yahweh Shai, okay? These are the words of Yahweh Shai, all right? So, like it says right here, a deeply divided America. That's how we know America is falling, bro. And it is, we know what's getting ready to come upon America. All right, it says each would serve as a domestic civil disturbance, quick reaction force to quell violence during protests, riots, and other civil unrest. Yeah, and all this is systematic created by the elites. All right, this is part of bringing forth their new world order. All right, all those people you see protesting out there, those are all bought and paid for, bro. They got checks to be out there, man. All right, according to Pentagon documents, the Washington Post reviewed. All right, the units would be capable of deploying within an hour, with Arizona troops responding to unrest in locations west of Mississippi River and the Alabama troops to location east of the river. All right, it cost its cost could reach hundreds of millions of military aircraft. Whoo, all right, and their crews are part of the reaction force. But using commercial air services would reduce the cost, according to the Pentagon documents. If the Trump administration approves the creation of such a force, it would be able to move troops among states instead of relying on National Guard troops, all right, from each respective state. The quick reaction force would not become active until 2027. All right. It says when asked for comment, an unnamed Pentagon official called the Defense Department, all right, a planet organization that routinely reviews how the department would respond to a variety of contingencies, all right, around the globe. All right. So you see what's going on, man. It says he earlier deployed 4,000 California National Guard troops and 700 Marines to Los Angeles to protect federal buildings and immigration and customs enforcement agents, all right, while they enforce federal immigration laws, all right, there in June. Yeah, all right, that was the doing of Donald Trump, man. All right, he sent out 4,000 National Guard troops and 700 Marines, man. All right. All right, it says the documents were prepared by Pentagon Police Chief Elbridge Colby for Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth. All right, so you see what's going on, man. All right, it says, matter of fact, it says reports of the potential quick reaction force were made after Trump on Monday deployed 800 National Guard troops to Washington after declaring a crime emergency in the nation's capital. All right, despite the fact that crime has gone down in recent years. All right, yeah, that goes to show you that they just want to bring hell upon Jake, man. They're just coming after Jake because who's in Washington, D.C.? Jake, man. You Negroes, you Latinos, you Native Americans, you Israelites, man. All right? They coming after you Jakes, man. You Israelites, man. You Negroes, man. All right? Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, your enemy. Your number one enemy, man. The damn devil, man. All right? So, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. Yahweh Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Ratazah. This lesson was edifying, man. All right? You know, we've been warning y'all about this, man. All right? The true prophets and the true servants of the Lord, all right, which are the Israelites of great millstone, man, and the ones that teach in like manner. All right, this is all prophecy. We've been prophesying this, man. All right, Esau, Edom is getting ready to come down upon you, Jakes, with very great wrath, man. All right, Revelation 12:12. All right, so with that being said, until the next one, Shalom.